after months of what has been a cautious approach by the White House, the Obama administration is now taking a more aggressive stand in Syria's bloody two-year-old civil war. For the first time, President Obama has authorized sending in U.S. weapons to the struggling Syrian rebels fighting against the Assad regime. Hello, everybody. I'm Uma Pemaraju in Washington. Let's get right to it, to the very latest on what impact the U.S. could have now in a conflict that has left more than 90,000 people dead. Elizabeth Pran is standing by with details on what lies ahead. Elizabeth?
Hi, Uma. Fox News just confirming the CIA is running the program which will deliver the weapons and initiate the training of Syrian rebels. While we learn arming the rebels will take place through Turkey, there are already thousands of U.S. troops in Jordan for an annual exercise. Reports are 300 Marines have been deployed to northern Jordan to lay the groundwork, and an anti-aircraft missile system designed to protect the territory from attack missiles has also been stationed there. This while the administration's Deputy National Security Advisor, Ben Rhodes, makes the case for why the administration has ruled out putting boots on the ground.
We certainly don't think it's in our national interest to introduce U.S. troops. We need to be humble here about our ability to solve a problem like Syria, certainly on our own.
Republican Senator John McCain, an advocate for intervention, says aid is welcome, but more is needed. He says opposition forces need heavy weaponry and a no-fly zone in place.
For us to sit by and watch these people being massacred, raped, tortured in the most terrible fashion, meanwhile, the Russians are all in, Hezbollah is all in, and we're talking about giving them more light weapons. I mean, it's insane. And let me just tell you, it is turning into a regional conflict.
The administration participating in emergency talks last night with both Britain and France on tactics to arm the rebels and the risks of a no-fly zone. Yet Russian officials speaking out today saying any attempt to enforce a no-fly zone would violate international law. Uma, back to you.
Elizabeth, thank you very much. Well, lawmakers and pundits have been divided on just what role, if any, the U.S. should have in Syria's civil war. Radio talk show host and foreign affairs expert Monica Crowley is joining us now with reaction. Hello, Monica. Great to see you today.
Hey, Uma. Hi. Nice to see you, too.
A big concern among some who are reluctant for the U.S. to get involved in the Syrian conflict is what if we supply military aid to the rebels, we don't know really who these folks are, particularly since we've heard reports that there are some rebels tied to al-Qaeda and other extremist groups. Now, if we provide those weapons, for example, how do we know they won't be diverted and used for future terrorist attacks against us?
Well, that's precisely the question, Uma. And look, we ran into the same situation in Libya when we were arming rebels there to overthrow Muammar Gaddafi. And what we discovered, maybe too late to the game, or maybe we knew it all along, I don't know, but that most of those rebels were linked to al-Qaeda, linked to the Muslim Brotherhood, and had other Islamist connections. Now we are on the cusp here of getting more deeply involved in Syria when we know that those rebels, this war has been going on for 2 years. Maybe at the beginning there were some real authentic Democrats with a little d, Democrats who wanted to overthrow Assad. But now we know that the vast majority of those rebels in Syria have pledged loyalty to al-Qaeda, are Muslim Brotherhood linked, are Hezbollah. And so what we now have, Uma, Syria is now a proxy war between the United States and Russia, and another proxy war between the United States and Iran, which backs Assad and backs Hezbollah. We're going to get more deeply entrenched in this kind of war, arming our enemies that are sworn against us, like al-Qaeda and the Muslim Brotherhood, for example. This is an extremely messy situation. And while Bashar al-Assad, nobody's making any excuses for him. His regime is odious. He's a brutal, murderous tyrant. But the question we need to ask ourselves is twofold. Number one, what are our national interests here at stake? Are there any? And I really don't think so. And number two, if Assad falls and a power vacuum is created there, who is best prepared to step in? The folks that are best prepared to step in are the Islamists. It's al-Qaeda, it's the Muslim Brotherhood. If, in fact, they take power in Syria, you will end up with a regime in there that is going to be far worse for U.S. interests and also extremely anti-Israel.
Monica, stand by. We need to pause for this alert.